Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Crying is Free Action. We're a podcast that deals with local news, some national news, global news, and probably some other stuff too. It's just me here today. Hi. Uh, Justin's out sick in a way. Let's hope he gets better soon. And Al is also feeling a bit under the weather. But today, so we're the team behind easyvotend.com, where we try to write up some nice information to help you out, to help, make some decisions for a thing that we do every couple of years, which is vote. Hopefully, if you're voting, um, always recommend checking out Justin's law enforcement advice article that he kind of wrote up a couple weeks ago. Helps us, what to deal with as we enter into a an authoritarian regime. In a way, as long as the laws still work. Um, but I guess I wanted to start off today a little bit different, instead of just talking about how terrible things are. With a little article here from the New Atlas. Um, so in this one here, have you ever considered that we are just cosplaying being highfalutin uh, people with intelligence? Maybe we're still just monkeys in suits. So in this article, which is from let me see here, researchers at the University of Zurich, they try to release a study on how rapid and extensive environmental shifts have affected the fitness of Homo sapiens. So, fitness is not just, how buff or how fit we are, but how we adapt in our environments. Um, so other animals, what usually happens is they are designed to evolve to fit all the stresses of their environment and all that. uh, but in this case, we are one of the animals that are like blessed with intelligence. Some may say it might be a bit of a curse, but all the crazy amount of stress that we have in our bodies, our physical bodies are not able to handle these things. Things like stress, air, noise, light pollution, microplastics. Here's a great little quote. In our ancestral environments, we were well adapted to deal with the acute stresses to evade or confront predators, right? So whenever things kind of stress you out, your body's reacting the same way as we're being hunted down by like a lion. So let's see, our bodies react up to stresses as like lions, so that just like dealing with bosses. And it's a really strong visceral response when it really hits you hard. Um so when it comes to like when you see these kind of news and um all the big stresses in our life, it's important to remember that we are not um we're not built different. We're still monkeys from the cave. um People are still facing a lot of chronic stress and all these diseases. These are things that are from our modern age. So I guess the question is, how do we like deal with this, right? Yep, in this case, we know our big brains are complex. Biological adaptation is very slow. We're just not designed to live in these boxes and cities. So I would like to encourage everybody, if they can, to maybe try to, take some time, get some rest, veg out, touch some grass, literally. Because the cities are not built. We are not built for the city. And other things that are not built for the city. Let's see if I found this article here. Ooh, that's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of stuff. We are going to let's continue on forward. Um, in this case here, witnesses. In this case, we have seen a man getting run over by ice in Vancouver, Washington. Um, this man was also not built for handling getting hit by a car. But these are some of the nightmares that we're. Hang on, later. Thank you. Yeah, so let me see if I can find the video on this one. But a man is I don't even want to play this. But this happened a couple days ago. A man was shown screaming in pain. There's a video that came out on social media. A silvery gray Ford SUV kind of drives over his right leg as he's being detained. Oh, geez. He was leaving Don Taco. Yep. He started to try to drive away, and then I parked the street and got. Oh my god. I don't know if I want to play this, but that's what ICE is doing to us these days. They're just running over people now. Um, yeah. In other bad news, the Supreme Court has agreed to decide if Trump can basically end birthright citizenship. So right now, actually, I'm on ground news, and let's take a look at some of the differences. So let's start from the center. So this is what we can kind of at least agree on are like the facts, you can say. Um, so this is on December 5th. The U.S. Supreme Court has agreed to review the lawfulness of an executive order by Donald Trump to try to change how birthright citizenship kind of works. Um, let's see. Okay, so this is a situation where in this case, John D. Solicitor General John Sauer is arguing that the reason we have the Fourth Amendment is a way to kind of uh, validate that children who are born of slaves and slaves are actual citizens, but that does not include children of immigrants. So it's trying to like restrict that definition. That's really not. I guess currently that's not how it has been working, right? Because if we are actually just trying to read the 14th Amendment, I guess we can probably just pull that up real quick. One moment. Let's see. 14th Amendment. What is this amendment? Hey. Okay. So I guess this is part of it, right? So all persons born or naturalized in the United States are are citizens. So I think that seems pretty clear to me. Right? If born or naturalized. So naturalized is if you go through like a citizenship test or anything like that. Some kind of process for naturalization. Uh, no state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens in the United States. Okay, so that means we can't just reduce, for a given state. Now, I guess does the state also count as the United States? Hmm. Nor shall any state shall deprive any life, liberty without due process of law, nor deny this to any person within its jurisdiction. Now, this is an interesting one. No, so in this is kind of stating that nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction. So what is the jurisdiction of the United States, right? So that is like places that obviously like the land that belongs to the United States or within United States control um for any person of life. So these are persons, they're using the word persons here and not citizens. And you'll hear a lot of uh legalese kind of people trying to squirm around the word because why did he use the words citizens here? Sorry, you should use the word citizens here and the words persons here, and then the words persons here. These are written by like lawyers. You know, the founding fathers. When you state and create a certain kind of class of people, this is just by definition what they use. Um, whole in this case, this talks about the counting of people per state. This is kind of interesting one where before the 14th Amendment, you know, for Southern representation, the Southerners had more slaves, so they wanted to count each person who was a slave as a person in the South, so that there was more representation in the South for things like the seat of the House of Representatives. What happens is the North was not cool with that, so then we had what's known as the Three Fifths Compromise, which was that each person who was a slave counts as three-fifths of a person, literally lesser than a person. So this is kind of one of those. This is why this kind of claims are here in this in the original text. Let's see. But you can see here that some of these phrases here are kind of weird because this is back written. This is the direct text from the 14th Amendment. As you can see, they also talk about the basic right shall be reduced to proportion which such males shall bear the whole number of male citizens 21 of age in such state. Like once again, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a legal person. I am just an average Joe that can read. But sometimes they're like, oh, but legalese doesn't mean these things, or it should mean these things. Well, sure, but these some of these parts, these phrases in these texts seems pretty straightforward to me. Um, but going back here, so actually they're talking about the case of legal precedents with which is known as United States versus Wong Kim Ark. Um, let me see, what the heck is that? What is Wong Kim Ark? Um, but then we have his arguments. They could have tried to overturn, I guess, 125 years versus precedent. This is a bit of an interesting one because a lot of times the Supreme Court can just say no. There's no merits to this case. There's no basis for this case. So why on earth are they planning on hearing this out to begin with? So this is why a lot of people are kind of a bit concerned on this. So then we can actually go over here, take a look at what does the right say and what the left say, and you'll see some different stories. So on like right-leaning news, let's see here. So the issue this order was unsigned. Executive order seeks to deny citizenship to children born of parents. So as you can probably see here, they only mention specifically the status of the parent. Let's see. Multiple courts have been blocked the implementation of the policy, claiming it contradicts the 14th Amendment clause. Yep, and that's all they're saying here. Expect decision. This, as the case is known as Trump versus Barbara. Mm. On the left side, yep. So ends birthright citizenship for some children born in the United States. So this is an interesting thing where reading with news. Sometimes the word choice really matters on how we interpret said news, right? Um, so in the right side, they specifically mention they don't mention the part about children too much, but you see there's a heavier weight on illegality that some laws are, they're breaking the law. But in this case here, they're just talking about they changed the part not including that statement on this part here. Lower courts have rejected, in this case, the summaries will just say it's the following that they're not entitled, but these are things are in the laws. I'm sorry, kind of mumbling. So general states policy undermines. So that's a little bit of a difference. Just by choosing certain kind of words, we have a different interpretations, and what you see and feel is part of like reality in a way. Yeah, so if you look at in this case what's known as the Wong Kim arc, United States versus Wong Kim. Let's take a look at that. What is that? Versus Wong Kim arc. Hey, look at that. It's one of my dudes. Um National Constitution Center. So this happened. What year was Wong Kim arc? 1898. Okay, so this is after the 14th Amendment. So this is the way they. So in this case, this is a thing that happened with Wong Kim arc was born to in San Francisco to parents who are both Chinese citizens. Yeah, age 21, he took a trip to China. When he returned, he was denied entry because he was not a U.S. citizen technically, even though he was born here. Um, so he had to kind of fight his way through the legal system, just trying to get back into America where he was born. So it's 6'2" because the parents was born in the United States and were not employed under any diplomatic capacity. Um, this is a way. So in this case, this legal case here kind of argues against Solicitor General Sauer from like 100 something years ago. So we can always, of course, look into and reading the opinions, but and it's maybe it's interesting also looking at the dissent, right? So who would dissent against this thing? So here we go. So Mr. Fuller here, I mean Chief Justice Fuller, is trying to cite the main object of the opening sentence of the 14th is to settle the question. This is opinion that all put on the were the former slaves. Yeah, okay. As to the citizenship of free Negroes. Okay, so that's what he said. That's originally what the Fourth Amendment was about. Let's see, birth, naturalization only. Mm, Now, I take it that children of aliens whose parents have not only renounced their allegiance to their native country but are forbidden by such government and not must necessarily remain. Oh man, this is just such like you. Sometimes you gotta just like take a little pause each time you read these things. Fitting out the country, well, all right, there. All right, yep. So this is the fort was not designed according to citizenships to persons so situated to cut off the legislative. Okay, so they're trying to say that, just like General Sauer is trying to take the minority opinion, in this dissent case from 120 something years ago, uh, that they're trying to limit the scope of the 14th Amendment. But this was 6-2, so this is what do you think it might be a more minority thought, and but now it's coming back again. So this, and they're probably going to use this as a means to deport many more people who are born as immigrants. Um, so it's kind of cruel. Let's see what else we got here. We got a lot of stuff. Um, okay, this is more U.S. news. Do you want to do some more U.S. news, chat, or do you want to watch this lady get pepper sprayed? Let's see. Oh Jesus. Okay. Yeah. Let's watch this. Get pepper sprayed. Okay. So in this case, this is a disabled woman with a cane. This happened about a couple of weeks ago in St. Paul, Minnesota. Let me see if I can. Oh, that's not good. Sorry. Still getting used to this streaming thing sometimes. Oh no, that's not good. That's not good. I don't like that. Uh oh. The windows do be moving. Okay. So in this case, she's incapacitated, stumbling backwards. Let's take a quick look. Oh, well. Jesus Christ. Yeah, so that's probably over. I mean, I don't have to tell you guys. That was a lot. That really shouldn't be. I'm pretty sure that's excessive use of force. There's no reason for this. Um, and part of it is they've been hired. They hired a bunch of like thugs, unqualified people to work in these jobs. There's no safety training, no nothing. So yeah, that was pretty bad. Let's look at more bad things. Uh, let's see if we can find the article with this one. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Trump immigration forces deployment of less lethal weapons in dangerous ways, skirting rules and maiming protesters. All right, we're over here at ProPublica. So I mean, as you've been seeing for the past, I guess, let's say weeks, months that we've been talking about more of the abuses that ICE and our current government have been doing to its own citizens for things that even just include, besides immigration, also including free speech challenges. Um, let's see. So, this protesters is over in Portland, Oregon. You stop what you think you're doing. Second shot, 10 seconds later, a silver projectile launched through the Smalls gate, hitting him in the face. Tear gas cannons, people getting shot in the face with projectiles. Um, so in this case, this one protester, a 25-year-old veteran of the emergency room, was rushed in, was rushed to one. Hang on, never mind. So this is this. Sorry, I'm misreading here. No, 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 never mind. No, it is right guy. Okay, so yeah, he's been working in the emergency room, and then looks like he got pelted and had a nose broken. It's just a 55-year-old man. Um, could have been blind. Uh, but this is constant abuse that we've been seeing across everything. Let's look at. I guess this is the video. Let's take a look. Oh, it's a beast guy.
Have my say, and if it means being wounded to do it, then I'm here. I have to have my say, and if it means being wounded to do it, then I'm here.
All
I
right,
have to.
you got it, bud. Um, yeah, so just he's just trying to speak out for his, his First Amendment rights to you're allowed to protest and argue and complain about things that the government does. That's your God. Well, that's your First Amendment given rights. You don't have to, even if people don't like hearing what you have to say, you have your right to say it. Specifically to you versus the government. You versus somebody else, different story. Just make sure we remember this about the First Amendment protections, where they kind of last and where they go. So in this case, these so-called lethal weapons are designed to break up mobs, engage in dangerous behavior. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, so this is kind of a listing of all the different things we probably have been showing to you guys, our dedicated listeners and watchers. We saw people getting pelted with pepper balls, rubber balls, basically almost at point blank range. They usually supposed to bounce them on the ground to kind of break apart, disperse instead of just shooting people directly. And it's considered less lethal, not non-lethal means. So yeah, that's a pretty let's see, miss. So let me see if there's a way we can actually identify how many times this has been like 100,000 inches to people wounded by tear gas since 2015. More than 5,000 injuries, 14 deaths of people getting hit by military grade canisters for less lethal means. Uh, the episode is called like the Continuum Force. We talked about, but our favorite guy here, Border Control Czar. It's not the Czar, I guess he's just Commander Greg Bovino. Has been ramping up some of the additional violence in our country. This motherfucker here. Yeah. June 7th, Home Security shot a local reporter with a rubber bullet. Um, and then people getting attacked, for just reporting on the news, right? As we've been seeing. Let's see. I do actually have a friend who she might be trying to come on the podcast in the near future. I want to see if I can put up a video real quick of her and me. Her city actually had a bit of an ice raid, and Greg Bovino, Mr. Bovino here, was at the local Walmart tearing up the place. Let me see if I can find that video real quick. See midway blitz. Oh, geez. Yep, shot a pep ball right there. All right, just I'll be back 1 second. Shoot. All right, let's see if I got this working. Sorry. Don't wait. It's my first day on the job. Sorry, guys. Uh oh. I think this is. I think I did it. Hey. All right, great. So that's All right, I'm just gonna hit play. Let's see. And I'm here
Hi.
with my friend Julie. And Julie has been running into some interesting issues with ICE
Yeah, we
recently,
have.
specifically that ICE has invaded her town. It-
Yeah, it sure has.
so okay, yes. So Julie, I know you've been. So me and Julie, we've been friends for like forever. She lives in a small part of North Carolina on the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains, known as Lenore. It's a population of like 20,000 people. It's really. I visited a few times. It's very nice. There's about like 8 stoplights there.
It's gotten bigger. It's gotten bigger.
It's gotten bigger. Okay.
Just a little bit.
All right, so we're up to like 20 now, which is pretty good.
It's a big stopping point towards Boone. So, Lenore is like the last place you see before you go up the mountain.
I said it does Boone because yeah, and I know that also Boone has also been hit pretty crazy with ice. I've been seeing
Yeah, yeah.
videos on the subreddit. So why don't you like to tell if you'd like to share what have you been kind of experiencing in your area?
At the beginning of this whole situation, so I think it was around like Thursday, obviously we were getting reports saying that it was happening in, the larger
Hmm.
cities, Charlotte, and then they were moving over to Raleigh and Greensboro and Durham, all those larger cities. And then I was getting text messages from some coworkers saying that they were going to be out because they had heard that they would be coming to us. And honestly, we were a little skeptical. We didn't think they'd come down here because, like you said, we have what, like 8 stoplights,
Right.
So we really had no expectations. And then suddenly they were in Granite Falls, which was, less than 15 minutes away from us. And people got scared. Like that was when everybody decided that they didn't want to come into work. I was getting calls left and right. Some of them suddenly sick, which, obviously we knew that they weren't. But it was really difficult to convince people to come in because, under our law, they're not allowed in our kitchen
Right.
unless they have a warrant for a specific person. So we kept trying to explain to people that you're safe here. It's just getting from point A to point B that was the issue. So a lot of people were logic was getting thrown out the window, basically. So there was a little bit of a panic.
So the people that are calling out, I'm going to probably guess that they probably pass as some form of minority of some sort, people of color, or does it include like everybody? Is everybody getting kind of real paranoid about these things?
No, yeah. So, I work in a restaurant,
Hmm.
and most of the customer facing employees, they they didn't have any worries. Most of them are, legal. They're I guess I suppose allowed to be here, I guess what you want to say. They had no issues. We had no issues really with frontline other than like, the normal calling outs, which kind of added to, the chaos.
Oh, I see.
But yeah, like normal call out stuff. But it was the kitchen that was the biggest issue. I think around here, most people are not too afraid. They're not taking the whole fact that they're also taking people that kind of look like that they might be undocumented, or they're not taking that very seriously. I've noticed it's just the people that are like technically undocumented. Everybody else who's like allowed to be here, I guess, they're not scared, I guess.
So, I did think you showed me some videos of just like cops just pulling over people and arresting them. I think you saw
Yeah,
one of a
yeah.
gas station. So, kind of seeing this in public, I'm guessing. Like, I guess what's the
hmm
sentiment with your customers? What kind of things are going on? Have you been hearing?
Yeah, so we have a we're a red little town,
Yeah.
and even before this whole situation happened, we had a few people, customers that would make comments, every once in a while, and they were regulars. And so that was something that me and my, general manager had to have, a discussion about is basically like if they are in town, it is very likely that our customers are even the ones that if they come in contact with these people, ICE, that they might even just, rat us all out, basically.
Oh, wow.
Um, yeah, no, we were very concerned about that. And of course, we still are until about Monday. I've heard they're going to be moving on, but who knows? But yeah, so we have a couple of customers that have made offhanded comments that are regulars, and that was a concern. As far as anger and outrage from the public, we did have, of course, we had our protests a few weeks ago
Hmm.
about this, but I haven't seen anything specific to this particular raid other than the fact that we were supposed to have there's lights going on in the town center, and we have a festival around that every year
Hmm.
for Christmas, and they had canceled the festival because the bands canceled. They did not want to participate, um, because of the whole, ice situation. So that was a little bit of a shocker. I'm very pleased, obviously, but
Okay, that makes sense. Have you? So, what I guess you have? What have you been like doing? I guess for yourself to kind of keep yourself a bit sane in these, in crazy situations.
a lot of Red Bull.
A lot of red.
Yeah, a lot of Red Bull.
That's not good for your
Yes.
heart, you know.
I know. Like I said, it was just getting people convinced that the workplace is a safe place to be. We had our all of our doors in the back locked, so nobody could like slip in.
Hmm.
Um, Anybody who was, I'm just going to use the term safe. Anybody who was safe to go outside, we let them go outside, like take the trash out,
Hmm.
change mop heads, those things. If you were an individual who worked in the kitchen, you did not leave the kitchen until your shift was done and you can run to a car and somebody could take you. Like that's how we've been kind of dealing with it. I have been, there's been a lot of people that have not had rides. So I've been essentially a taxi
Mm.
for the last couple of days. I've been I've been doing it a lot. I've been taking people to and from, and I've been kind of trying to like group everybody together and kind of like hide them in my car at this point.
Uh,
It's kind of what we're doing.
yeah.
Yeah. I just came back from dropping some people off. When I went to the house, uh, there was another employee there. Uh, that I wasn't picking up. He was in his street clothes, and
Mm.
he came up to me and he was supposed to work later tonight. And I have been taxiing him back and forth. But at this point, he's like, I can't handle it anymore. Like, I got to call out. I can't work tonight. Just tell him I'm sick. I'm like, okay, I totally understand. As much as it's been difficult, taking over. All the managers have come in and worked extra to fill in all those spaces too, the ones that are too afraid to come in.
Yeah, it definitely feels like
Yeah.
this. There's not really like the. It is weird, I don't know about you. It does sound like we have to do a lot of these same tactics as if we're living in like like the 1950s being afraid everybody can call us communists, but now it's everybody can call us illegals. Is this my ID count? And the answer is like, no, your driver license doesn't
Maybe.
count.
Oh.
It doesn't count for
Yeah.
anything.
I had a video, or I saw a video that somebody had showed me at work the other day. And I was telling you that story about how one of the kids that I know, um, he was yelling at somebody at them at Walmart, right?
Yeah.
They were yelling at them. I'm like, hey, even if you're safe from getting taken, please don't do that. Like, no. Um, they stopped, they paused the camera, and they said, do you recognize the name Gregory Bovino?
Yeah, we all know Gregory Bavino. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Yeah, he's here. So,
Oh,
yeah, they paused it and they were like, "Gregory, but okay." And you know what? I haven't been following it, honestly. So, I'm glad that we all know the name.
yeah. I think he used to work for like border patrol or something like that, and they kind of pointed
Mhm.
to these kind of things. So a lot of the tactics, a lot of these things
The
are
new
not.
recent raids, yeah.
Hmm. Yep, we do have
Yeah,
a
so
good.
he was at our Walmart 2 days ago.
Well, it's gonna get worse till it gets better. So I know that they were they're trying to fight it in like in the courts a bit to try to
Mhm.
prevent some of these raids, but it looks like it's gonna be like on a per like case basis because they're
Yeah, yeah.
so
Well, I was gonna say North Carolina in general, yes, courts, but I am particularly proud of the citizens of North Carolina. I feel like we're making a statement as far as that goes. Like, we do not want them here at all. And I don't know if you've seen it, but I've been trying to scour through TikTok, basically, just kind of getting a feel of like what other states are saying. They're very proud of us as well, and I'm happy about that. But like I said, I think I told you earlier that as far as I understand, and like I said, I don't know, but I think they're going towards Louisiana at this point. They're saying that they're getting in touch with local authorities and letting them know that's their next stop.
yeah, yeah, they're definitely hit up
Yeah.
all each of the states one at a time, and I mean, it is really. I said personally feeling this does feel a really nasty. I need a bigger, better word than nasty, but what I'm kind of saying it's yeah. I think the bigger, better word is probably going to be like I don't know, fascist, the authoritarianism. Evil? Probably. So yeah, that's me and my friend Julie. So just hearing some things related. ICE has nearly arrested nearly 75,000 people with no criminal records. Uh do not these figures not include arrests made by border patrol. Oh, okay, that's even worse. So we're not just adding them all together. Um okay, so more than a third of the roughly two 200,000 people. Wow. Have no criminal history. So that's quite a lot of people, personally speaking. Because when we first came into power, and um, part of that is yeah, we should only get the criminals, right? So there's the people that are getting arrested, but how many of these people also getting deported? I guess. Um, so this is a good question that I'm trying to figure out. But a third is a lot. If I got like a third of the things wrong at my job, I'm probably gonna get fired. Um, like that's gonna just let's see. The administrator stopped regularly posting detailed information on ICE arrests in January. So how do we get this information? Um, yep. So as my friend Julie mentioned, they did sweeps in the different areas, and now they're sweeping New Orleans. So, but I guess it's the thing where they operate, they do things they should be doing things pretty differently between ICE and Border Patrol. They have different goals and different needs. But a lot of these things are getting kind of blurry, and people are just getting disappeared. um in mid-May. Oh man, what is going on with my mouse? Yep, yep. Okay, fine. I won't highlight anything, that's fine. But this is what we call like an issue, the incentives, right? when you set like a arbitrarily high number as part of your goals, if Stephen Miller mentioned he want to get at least 3,000 migrants per day, he didn't really care about if they're criminals or whatnot, because you have to meet the number, otherwise you get fired. But even new data still shows it's still falling short of that target. Oh my god. Okay, so let's see. Ice Ages have made an average daily total of 824 arrests over the entire country. We just only got 824 people each day. That's still a lot of people. So 90% of these were male. Okay. Most of them were looks like 85,000 Mexicans, 31,000 Guatemalans, 24,000 Honduras. Mostly probably just a working age. Looks like males. So and these are some of the comments that we hear that even the most conservative fields are feeling it, understand that hey, something needs to be different needs to be done because now it's affecting their businesses. Right, because this is direct cause and effect. So now they finally understand these things. But yeah, this is really not good for all of us involved, right? So right now there's 65,000 people, have basically been disappeared, um, in some places, and and the places being disappeared to, uh, has not been pretty good. So let me see if I can find the article here, about my local, um, place that people disappear to. So this is an article from the Hill. Um, Whoops. Okay, yep. So here we go. So this is Amnesty. So we're here from Amnesty International. So they basically have like a punishment. Oh man, look at all these ads. Like I know we got to pay for your stuff, guys. I probably should start paying for these things. In a 61-page digital report that the box, a 2 foot by 2 foot cage located in alligator Alcatraz's yards, keeps people restrained to the ground and hold them still for hours, exposed to the heat, insects, and elements. Oh my god. Let's see if we can find it. Oh my god. Okay. Let's see if I can torture. Right, because even if people are criminals, they still have rights. You know. Uh, Lights are like stadium lights. They're never turned off. Air condition is very okay. Yep, it's very cold. No mosquitoes. So okay. So is this considered kind of biased news? I'm like, yeah, you could say so. But it's trying to still do things that are kind of um for a good purpose. But this is just a report. Let me see if we can find, I guess, the picture of the box. Because we're just staring at like, oh, this is a prison. How bad can it be, right? It's just prison, but it's not. They're not in prison. They're just being detained. I see agents standing out of medical unit of men screaming for help. I guess are these paintings, drawings, sketches? Probably 'cause they don't want any photos. Misuse of ice fields. So there's a lot of so it's kind of going through and illustrating like all the different issues. So I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm just laughing because we're here. um, right. So growing up, um, during the big issues of 9/11, one of the biggest issues that we faced that still happens today is the treatment of, let's say, people that kind of war criminals. And we did create a little place off of Cuba. It was called Guantanamo Bay. There was just a lot of abuse. There were some people that have been abused and stuck there for suspicion of terrorist links and activities, but they were never like some of them were not really being prosecuted there. I think it was like Radio Lab did like a podcast about I think his name was like Abu Nasir. Let me see. No, Latif. Latif Nasir in Guantanamo Bay. He was kind of held in detention for a very long time, for like 19 years, but they never were like prosecuted. They were just kind of just being held there um for a very, very long time. So with no charges, no trials, just because he was um a man who was in the wrong place at the wrong time. When I said wrong place was like, he what they kind of caught him in like Afghanistan and stuff like that, but he's from Morocco. And there was a lot of things, so I would recommend I think it's a Radio Lab podcast. Yep, Radio Lab podcast is called The Other Latif, Latif. It's a really interesting listen to some of the issues that we kind of ran into. Um, and a lot of times when we come to situations in the world that are very heavily driven by our emotional mind, uh, people kind of mob like unruly, and we're not really thinking, we're just mad and upset. Okay, so I guess this is a drawing of I guess figuratively of what kind of box is kind of like here. There's a box outside. Used to punish people one time. Two people myself called out guards, needing my medication. Two guys rushed to the cell and threw them on the ground. Okay, so instead of somebody trying to ask for medication, and ask for medication, and two people trying to help him out, 10 guards rushed to the cell, threw him to the ground. They were taken to the box as punishment. Anytime we demanded our rights be respected, they were punished. Jesus Christ. Arbitrary detention and lax transparency and oversight. Ugh. I'm not saying this is our Holocaust. But it kind of feels like it sometimes. Not it's real bad. Um, let's see what else we got going on in the bad news factory. So yeah, so that's in this case, yeah, it's 2 foot by 2 foot cage, but that's not what the box looked like. I mean, I guess I use that thing as a cage as an example, but at 2 foot by 2 foot, it's like you can barely like lay down. You can't lay down. You just kind of like squat it over. Um, I'll switch my 2 meter by 2 meter, which I guess could fit some people, but I don't know. It's still kind of weird. Let's see what we got here. Right. State Department to deny visas to fact checkers and others, citing censorship. Okay, so this is actually some news that came about as we kind of move towards shutting down the borders, right? So probably a couple weeks ago, you might have remembered that it was during like Thanksgiving Day weekend. We had like an Afghani, um, I think it was Afghanistan. I think it was Afghani. He used to work for the CIA. This guy kind of maybe like shot up like two guards, two national, was it reserve? I think it was National Guard members. One of them is one of them died, and the other one is still kind of struggling to survive right now. And I'm trying to remember if this is around that same time. Maybe not, but it's one of those that might be separate. Actually, never mind. That's a separate catalyst to try to shut down immigration from what they call like specifically third world countries. So this is another one where they're trying to give you different reasons and stories to kind of justify why we have to shut down the border. So now they're going to use I guess with help from I guess the big social media companies that have already paid um paid into the United States, that people are allowed to post on their platforms, and express whatever kind of views they have in social media. So nowadays, if you try to come into the country, I guess they can try to ask you to like check your social media posts and see if you're having any kind of messages. So this is just a bit further more. Let's see on I guess the war on social media. But people are trying to, call out, let's see. Um, Consular officers will thoroughly explore the work histories applicants and reviewing resumes, seeing social media. So when people try to apply for like visas and other stuff like that, do a lot more timed and analysis, I guess. Uh so okay, like yeah, we always say, hey, we do things try to protect the children and protect these things, and that there are bad actors everywhere. But um this is a very weird. I mean, these are to me. These just come across as kind of excuses for um why we need to try to censor more people from coming in. You choose a reason to match the action you want to do, right? it's not it's not what happened the other way around. Um, because the president was a victim of social media companies blocking his accounts. He was one lead this type of censorship. So okay, um, yeah, right. So even if there are people that say things you don't like to hear, and especially if you're like, I don't know, the president, um, they people have the right to say these things. Um, we also had I think I don't know if we actually talked about this one. Information on Twitter, different countries. I mean, this you probably heard about this one already. This probably happened maybe like probably around the same time. Sorry, I'm trying to find an article that doesn't make me, close like a bajillion stuff. But like social media is definitely one of the biggest scourges of the modern age. I feel. And use of social media, we actually have things like this, where on Twitter they introduced a rollout a feature of saying, "Hey, where are people from when they post their news?" So it turns out like a lot of oh come on man. Well, anyways, a lot of quite a few accounts that on social media that are quite right wing and leaning, like I guess Dark Maga Coin and Maga Nation X and a few other ones. You probably heard this one already. They're actually from other countries, sometimes Eastern Europe, South Asia, and their job is they're being paid to kind of spam the internet or some kind of chatbots to help spread disinformation and give the appearance that these are like real people trying to try and they're trying to express their opinions on things. Um, we've had this actually happen quite a lot. We had, a lot of things in the 2016 elections. You have like Russian interference in our own elections, and people are going in and using social media as a way to try to influence and change people's opinions. People don't like having, I guess, their own opinions counter to everybody else's opinions, or you just want to see what you want to hear. There's no way of identifying sometimes. I mean, okay, so this is a weirdness of the internet. You can go to anywhere you want and find whoever speaks your message. It doesn't mean that your message is right. You just can find like-minded people. And some in the past without the internet, um, these people with incredibly fringe opinions may have been more ostracized out of their communities. But now we can find that, hey, we show a lot of people here are saying the exact same thing that I'm feeling and believing. But that doesn't mean that what you're feeling, what you're believing, it is whatever you want. It just doesn't mean that it's the majority opinion, right? especially when we in the age of what we call misinformation here. And so much so that let's see, at least our government is trying to do something about it, yeah, in a way. um so in this case, in the leaked memo, Pam Bondi wants a list of all domestic terrorism groups who express anti-American sentiment. So in the leak, okay, let's see, let's continue reading, I guess. Right, because you can't just identify like I mean, you can try identifying individuals, i- but that's a lot of people to identify. So trying to group just a bunch of people in a list, um, to what's considered like domestic terrorism and violence. So let's see, adherence to radical gender ideology, anti-Americanism, anti-capitalism, or anti-Christianity support for Christianity. Wow. Wow. Okay, and hostility towards traditional views on family, religion, and morality. Okay. So if you're come across as somebody who just hates Christians or anti-Christians and things, believe even radical gender ideology, in favor of mass migration and open borders, opposition to law enforcement. Ah, shit. I gotta end this podcast now. um, yeah. So this is an interesting turn of events. So we're kind of putting together just a massive list of what do you call it, the dissidents, and this is, I said, it doesn't really get worse till it gets better. So um I guess try to keep this stuff on the down low. I guess we're gonna start having Gestapo knocking on our doors, and then we're gonna have different people start reporting us. This is what I'm concerned. And the idea of they're trying to put this mass, here's a fun one. So the reason this got kicked up and drafted and sent out is after the wake of murder of right-wing activist Charlie Kirk. So these are not just plans that just kind of just came up with all of a sudden. This is my, welcome to my I guess this is my little conspiracy talks things. A lot of these plans are probably have already been drafted up, ready to go. They're just waiting for a nice key critical event to kind of launch these kind of things. Like we really had, why somebody would shoot Charlie Kirk and things. That part is irrelevant to having try to identify this domestic terrorism threat, because just shooting one dude who spews a lot of crap, terrorism, I guess, could make. But he's not a but this is just an excuse. Those are just excuses in order to try to launch this attack on um, freedom of speech. Let me see what else we got here. Uh okay. Trump pardons Texas Democrat after bribery indictment. Okay. Wow. So many ads. This is what we get. We don't maybe we should pay for our media. Okay, so this guy in Texas, he's kind of a, was he a rep? Democrat, yep. Took $800,000 worth, $600,000 worth of bribes and laundering of money. So I guess if a preemptive pardon wasn't fairly targeted, willingness to hmm. Okay. So we're trying to claim that these things are partisan, and this guy has clearly, has he been charged for taking bribes. Yep, he's been indicted, 14 counts, of taking payments from an oil company by Azerbaijan and a Mexican bank. So, yep, and he's got a full pardon for that. Great. So,
What country was that?
Oh, hey.
Hey,
Oh, how you doing? Who's
you
this?
know,
Oh, hey,
Cal.
Al, how you doing? Oh, shoot, I got
What
switched from
country? Azerbaijan, you
as
mean? I think.
Azerbaijan. Yeah, yeah.
No, you mean Azerbaijan.
Azerbaijan. Hey, hang on. Let me put you on the video stream too. So one moment.
Bro, why aren't you using my stand-in?
I don't know. I'd rather have this picture of Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein here instead.
You can have that can be the stand-in for Cal.
I have look. I create custom screens for every single little situation. So see,
Mhm.
yeah. Anyway, so this is like the Democrat guy who got pardoned by Trump because he was like, "Ah, this guy got a bad rap." So we're gonna, you know,
That sounds like the pardon he gave to what is that? What was that? Mayor Eric Adams?
he has a similar one. Yeah, that's what it feels like. So
Hmm.
yeah. So I mean, so there's that thing. So let me see, because he got charged of 14 counts or just 12 counts of taking bribes and laundering money to the tune of $600,000. It's quite a lot of money. Um, so this corrupt. Corruption is the most corrupt government in the most corrupt version of the United States government in a long time. So
Hmm.
yeah. Let's see. Got that one down. Got that one down. Um, let's see.
Did you
What
already
good?
did you already talk about the military buildup in the Caribbean?
I did not.
Well, I don't actually
Military.
see it on the show notes, so we can probably just
I
wing
I
it.
didn't do any of the notes, so I'm kind of flying by Google in the pants right
That's
now.
understand. Oh wait, what? Google's in your pants?
Google's in my pants. Yeah.
Hmm.
We got the CNN video. It's 8 minutes long. U.S. troops land in Ponce, Puerto Rico. Caribbean buildup. Ooh, that's kind of crazy.
I think it's Ponce, however you want to say it.
Ponce,
Not Ponce. Yeah.
Ponce de Leone. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, see, exactly.
Hang on. Let me share this video on your side. How you doing, chat?
There's
Yeah, I
nobody in
thought so.
chat.
I thought so.
It's just our bots.
We're just hanging out.
Yeah, we're just chilling.
Snap.
Bringing the bad news into the late.
Bringing Whoa. What? Bringing the
But,
bad dudes in a delay time. It's fine. I'll
I
set
mean,
up the clip.
that's a good way to describe our podcast.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I'll just watch the stream. Sorry. Let's see. So okay, we're gonna put like a CNN or a video, I guess. So as you mentioned, right? There's a buildup of military.
There's a pretty significant buildup of military equipment, manpower, and whatnot in the Caribbean. They even went so far as to reopen Shutter fucking naval station. I think it was like it's called Roosevelt Roads. It was retired, I think, in the 80s or something like that, 80s or 90s maybe. But they reopened it. They have they have temporary bivouacs set up for troops while they build, I guess, more permanent structures, and they're extending the runways.
Let's see.
So that's pretty telling in my opinion, because we have, I feel like we have a significant presence in that region, because don't forget, you have Key West right there. Naval Air Station Boca Chica is right there. You have a depot over there in what is it, Truman Annex or whatnot in Key West.
Yep. I'm
So
seeing
we
here
have a
that.
pretty.
Good.
Go ahead.
I guess where has camp? I guess they're stations. They're stationed at Camp Santiago for exercise.
Yeah, that's one of the smaller bases in Puerto Rico.
I see.
It's a joint training center, so it's not meant to be used for any sort of like deployment actions, I guess. you could say, but it's a National Guard facility. It's a National Guard station. It's not like it's not. I don't think it was supposed to be used for this, but whatever the case, they're using all these places to stage troops and equipment. And what I'm assuming is going to be a very quick escalation.
It's looking like it. So so on the screen we have right now on the stream, we have an article from the council. Oh, sorry, the Council on Foreign Relations, um, which maps up the U.S. military buildup near Venezuela. So we're gonna actually have this map here to kind of show our audience. Okay, let's see. So we got the full map there. So okay, yep, as you mentioned, yep, we are definitely staying here in Puerto Rico. Yep, there's a new former naval base you mentioned for new construction. They're building some stuff out there, some amphibious assault ships, some destroyers off the coast of Venezuela.
Venezuela, yeah, within their economic exclusion zone. So they're in Venezuelan territorial waters, if I understand that correctly. But
Hmm.
I don't recall how the economic exclusion zone works. But basically, they're within striking distance of the capital.
Yeah, yeah, and getting into an
And
economic exclusion zone is it's rough. It's tantamount to
yeah, I mean, people in the Pacific keep fucking saber rattling over this shit when the Chinese do it.
yeah, because these are supposed to be waters for my country, not for you. And then the
Hmm.
Chinese keep coming over there, trying to catch all the fish. So a lot of fishes over in this particular area. Sorry, I guess on the southern side of the Pacific down here, they're having a lot of issues trying to feeding. I think I saw a news article about like penguins. So like a lot of the penguins out in the south of Chile, all this stuff, they're all dying off because there's just not enough fish down there, and it's because
Yeah,
of
that's because the Chinese are going down there and fishing, trawling off the waters off of Argentina and Chile and shit,
freaking Chinese people.
which
Oh
is
shit,
ridiculous. That's a
that
long
that is
fucking way.
that is a long way. They're trying to feed, I guess, their own population over there, I guess, or make money, which is
I
still pretty
mean,
bad.
a lot of the stuff it's they're not even like they don't even use the entirety of the fish a lot of times.
That's right.
Anyways, back to the main topic.
Yep.
So I mean, this is pretty good breakdown of what we're seeing down there, what we have down there in terms of the military presence. The most, I guess, the most important one, I guess, the most intimidating one would be that carrier strike group,
Oh, yep. The down the carrier strike group. Yep. That's
and it's and it's the Ford, which is the newest and most advanced like American aircraft carrier at the moment. So
amphibious.
that's
Let's
and
see.
then
So we
it's
got
an amphibious ready group's basically a small carrier group, but it's more geared towards deployment of Marines than actual aircraft.
I see. And then this is the yep, the roads. They're rebuilding
That's
the landing strips.
Roosevelt Road. Yep.
Hmm. So we got some of
And
that
I
going
think
on.
they got like 20 F-35s or something over there.
Jesus. Yeah, it's something bad's gonna happen real quick. And we've just been seeing this escalation war. So when we're talking about, I guess, these carrier strike groups, so let me see. I guess we have like one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. We got like eight of, like four of them down there. Jesus Christ, at least
Or what?
carrier strike. Is that the entire thing of the carrier strike group? I guess.
No, no. So the carrier strike group is an individual unit. It has so if you look at that breakdown right there, scroll down.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yep. This one here. Yep.
If you look at that breakdown, yeah, you can see it's got one aircraft carrier, between 4 to 6 destroyers, at least one attack sub, one logistical
Mm-hmm.
ship, and one cruiser, and then it has
Yep. All the
75 aircraft.
Yeah, yep, and 77,500 people. So I'm trying to look at this infographic here. Okay, number of ships. Okay, and number of strikes. Okay, so they're saying there's all this stuff is being okay. That's what I mean by okay. That's the one carrier strike group there. Amphibious assault ships, cruisers. Okay, there's all cruisers.
Mhm.
Okay, I can see that. Ugh.
So I mean,
And
all in all, I think it's like 15,000 troops we have down there.
quite a lot. It's quite a lot of people down there. And I guess the one that's been hitting the news a lot has been, we're talking about these strikes in the Caribbean, and
Mm-hmm.
a big one was the idea of this. I guess the leak from one of the admirals, where they saw like I want to say these are like small little power boats, with probably like
Yeah,
used
I
by
mean,
fishermen.
these little fucking boats that are being used by more than likely people just fishing.
Yep, they're for fishing. They're
Because
just for
they live on the coast. We have the same shit in a lot of the coast here in the U.S. You know, people go out on their little fishing boats and go fishing. It's not uncommon.
Yep. So we in this case this was some leaked news, right? We've been hearing this news about all these like apparently 11, but I guess these boats getting shot off the board. But I guess one of the
I think
boats,
it's been minimum like 20 strikes, bro.
the minimum 20 strikes, but for one of them specifically, they did what they call like a double tap,
A double tap. Yep.
which would be great. To I guess the claims are trying to clear up the debris. But I guess a U.S. admiral, I guess, told some lawmakers that it took him about like 45 minutes between strikes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been trending, I guess, which contradicts with these kind of claims here. Uh, and part of it is they've been claiming that these kind of strikes have been considered illegal. Um, Now the question is, I guess people are trying, is this illegal? I'm like, it probably is an illegal order. Um, but there's a lot of contradictory
I mean,
things.
it
But
was illegal to begin with.
pretty bad. This pretty illegal. Yeah.
There's no pretty illegal or not, you know, or so or maybe a little illegal. No, it's illegal. It's contrary to the law. What is it? It's called. Isn't it called the law of the
I mean,
sea or whatever?
oh, okay.
Where I mean, you're not you're not supposed to attack unarmed boats for no reason like that. You know what you the what's proper procedure is supposed to be. You if you have a reason to suspect that this boat is carrying is engaging in illicit or illegal activities that could be considered dangerous, you're supposed to board the vessel and apprehend whoever is on board. You don't
Yeah.
just fucking say, "Hey, let's. I see a boat over there. Just shoot it. They're carrying drugs." No, that's not how it's supposed to work.
Yeah. So this is gonna get people quite hot water. I know that the Democrats have tried, I guess, trying to introduce articles of impeachment for Pete Hegseth over these kind of things. Like it's going to do anything, but it's really not a good look for us as Americans. We're considered like super dangerous. We're like an awful country now. It
Yeah.
really is. It's people don't want to come and visit us, travel us with us on these things. It's going to kill our business, and now we're just murdering the people, that not even Venezuelans. Some of these people are just uh, islanders living in the area, just having using a boat to transport food, medicine, or whatever. So it's bad. This shit's bad. Um, Speaking of bad things, I don't know how I've gotten this far in this art in the stream and not talked about my favorite man in the world.
Who?
Um, RFK Jr. So,
I thought you were gonna say Xi Jinping.
I mean,
Your social credit score is gonna
Xi
go down, bro.
Jinping, what? Huh? Social. I
Your
mean,
social credit.
we're doing good. Me and Ping are doing good. As
Never.
long as I send him, my 5 TikTok reels a day, he's fine. um, as mentioned a long time ago in this podcast, we talk about the great big beautiful bill. So millions are now getting removed from Medicaid under the Trump administration.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. Um, let's see, second term. So Medicaid enrollments have shrunk by 1.6 million people in the opening 6 months. So people are also just not registering, which I guess it
I
You
mean,
know,
maybe they're trying to register, but when they raise the requirements and you can't meet them, then that I guess that kind of makes it difficult to enroll.
right. So the unwinding of Medicaid, mandated after the COVID emergency was lifted, accelerated under Trump. Um,
See, look,
right.
there's the kicker: work requirements.
That's
Like
right.
because a lot of people who can't work but also would otherwise not qualify. I don't know. It's just a fucked up situation.
Yeah, it's a pretty messed up social situation, and a lot of people, a lot of people who need Medicaid, you know, aren't, some are just also just working as well.
Mhm.
So a lot of people, they're
And
trying their
Medicaid
best.
is supposed to be supplemental. The same thing as SNAP.
Yeah,
It's not like people are just fucking around and just sitting at home and collecting these benefits. Like, no, what does Medicaid do for anybody just who doesn't work and doesn't actually need it? It's not like me. For example, if you were just sitting at home and you didn't have a job and you didn't have any chronic health conditions, you don't have any fucking actual issues, why would you apply for Medicaid? What benefit does it give you? It doesn't give you cash. It doesn't give you anything that's going to directly benefit you aside from, being able to go to the doctor. And most people don't go to the doctor anyways. So,
right. Especially this mandatory like 80 hours per month, which is, basically like working part time.
hmm
Um, if people are on disabilities, you think disabilities get you like much money at all? Like you might imagine, sure, like they're getting money for nothing, but they really can't do much else. It's these are things that as a society we have to figure out what is important for us, to who should we take care of, how should we spend our monies, and what should we do our things. And I think taking care of, like, our poor, sick, and disabled are perfectly good uses of my money. Bombing
hmm
random boats in off of the Caribbean
are
is,
not good uses of our tax money. No, not at
yeah.
all.
So
It never has been, but that's always been that's always been the MO for this country.
that's right. We're just trying to blame things on your own individual failures instead of trying to understand that, hey, there's a different way we can do things, right? We're the strongest, most powerful, most richest nation in the goddamn world. Might as well, why are we so damn poor, so damn sick, and so damn broke? Um so yeah. So we have work requirements, health insurance premiums are going to go up, and people are going to be struggling because it's really bad. Um, and I don't have to tell you why it's bad because you're already feeling it yourself. People in the audience, and I guess Al and me, things are getting more expensive. I've never seen the
Yeah,
prices ever
way
go
more.
down.
I mean, I've always expected insurance premiums to go up, but nothing like they did this year. Like at the risk of sharing too much information, my insurance for this year was like I want to say like 1,000, 1,200 and I can't remember, but basically my rate for next year is like double
Jesus. Yeah, that per month. That's right, right?
annually.
Annually. Yeah, that's a lot of money. So, because I was like, sitting, like paying 1,200, I was like paying like 2,000 a
No,
month. I'm like,
no, I was
Jesus.
paying. I think it's actually going from like I think I was paying like 250 per month to I'm gonna be at like
500 per month.
damn near 500
So 500 per month. That means that's $6,000 a year. That's not a. Like I said, the thing is, we need is health insurance for things like conditions and saying, um, and if things go wrong, because the biggest part that I think is very important for health insurance is the idea that there is a maximum out of pocket, right? So the
Right.
idea is that because without this particular thing, families can go bankrupt, 100%, like just all bankrupt if they hit these things, without insurance, so that's the whole point of this stupid thing. We need insurance to cover the gaps, right? And then you also need then gap insurance. So that's why you should sign up for Geico. You can see my number at the bottom of the screen right now. To I can get you some we call like in between payments. But then
Okay.
all these stupid insurance things. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so I have the exact figures. It's going from 2040 annually to 4200.
Jesus Christ. And this is just for preemptive care. And you think it doesn't even like that's on
And that's
top of like
that's not even
regular.
less. Like that's this is also with me like changing to like the fucking lower tier because I don't use it as much.
Right.
But still like it's actually more than double what I was paying.
I mean, it's like, what are you paying for now, right? Because it's like all your like co-pays are exactly the same. No, they even more.
Mhm.
They might even more. You have less coverage, and you basically see the doctor like maybe once or twice a year.
If that.
Yeah, and then that's it.
Like I don't want to go to the doctor because they're just gonna tell me I'm fat.
That's right. And that is why I have not seen a doctor in 50 years. So, um, because doctors are liars and take all their money. That's right, guys. You thought I was pro science? Nah. Drink your eat your fish pills. That's right.
Drink your ivermectin.
It's over the counter now. You can get ivermectin over the counter. It's wonderful time.
Mm-hmm. What time to be
Um,
alive, bro?
let's see. I don't know if I have.
Joe
I mean,
Rogan, Joe Rogan Bros Unite.
Joe Rogan Bros Unite. Let's see. I did have this one. We have a new national security strategy. I don't know if I talked. I can't remember if I talked about it or not.
I don't know.
Oh, probably not. But I haven't actually read the article. I just hopped on ground
I
news.
mean, I mean, I think I know what it is. It's basically we're going to leave Europe to do whatever the fuck they want.
Right.
And I was actually reading an article about this earlier. Now that this is mentioned, so basically, what it seems like is happening is we're going to essentially hoist our responsibility of NATO onto Europe,
Hmm.
which not surprised. I'm not gonna say that it's all bad because realistically, Europe does need to take care of their own shit sometimes too. But then on the flip side, what we're doing with our own, I guess, side of things, it's not really anything good either because we're still just we're instead of fucking watching shit over there in Europe, now we're gonna come over here and bomb people here in our side of the world, which everybody here is already poor.
Yeah. That is the
And
thing,
then
right? Yeah. Go ahead.
the other thing is as far as the situation with China and their constant buildup, evidently we're just you know bending over and letting them do it. Which it's fine if you want to really look at it in the grand scheme of things. It's better that we have a sizable country that we can see as a quote unquote rival, but that we cooperate with. If we're able to cooperate with China now, if shit fucking goes sideways and we end up going to war, we're probably gonna be fucked because the
Yeah.
Chinese have a significantly higher capacity to produce shit than we do.
I do think that that we might be moving towards a situation where um China gets its part of the world, and then
Yeah, I
United
think
States
I
gets the
think
yeah.
yeah, I think that's what we're leaning towards. China gets their part of the world, Europe gets their part of the world, and then we get our fucking Western Hemisphere over here.
Yeah, because that have our little like hegemonic domains, and I guess that's all. I guess that's maybe that might seem kind of advantageous to, I guess, our current powers with Trump. I don't like it.
I mean,
Even
I
if
don't, I don't really like it either. I would rather we cooperate and things, but my problem is still that we're still we would still be the world police if we go back to the status quo. I don't want to. The United States doesn't need to be the world police. We should allow other countries to police their own areas,
right, yeah,
and
and
we
I
should
also
we should help and enable them to do so. But
yeah, and I agree. Like I do
whatever.
think.
I'm
I
just a
mean, I do
fucking
think that
guy.
us moving away from policing, NATO and Europe, it's not a bad idea. Because they do get to spend a lot of their money on things and having them to increase their GDP. um, I'm spending, change the thing to more defensive spending. I was hoping that would mean that we could reduce our spending so that we can get things to take care of our people, but that's not how it works.
No,
So,
that's not how. That's definitely not how it works.
so then it's
And
just
it's,
that
I mean, it's gonna be this. It's basically that all the European countries gonna turn into much smaller versions of us.
yeah, and that's
That's
yes.
not good because we can't, for whatever fucking reason, we can't seem to have a balance. Like I don't understand it. Why can't we balance the good of your people with the needs of the military? Which, the military is. I think that the military is something is largely a requirement because you want to be able to defend yourself when the fucking needs arise.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you have this massive fucking force you're not really doing anything with, because what the fuck are we doing with 11 aircraft carriers, you know?
I mean, we're using them to, keep Lockheed Martin in business and Boeing. So,
Lockheed doesn't make aircraft carriers.
ah,
That's Huntington Ingalls. That's another defense
using to
contractor.
keep hunting and Mangles in business. That's right. Um, this is it's military industrial complex. It's all
It
just a
is.
bunch of smoke
It
and
is.
mirrors to,
It's just a bunch of smoke and mirrors to keep people in certain places with money in their pockets. Because everybody in the specific people in Congress and the Senate get shit back.
that's right. Let's see. What else do I got here? I
These
think
nuts.
these nuts. Because yeah, I was just doing a lot of scrolling because I didn't do any show prep, so I was just kind of flying by the seat of my pants. Woman seeks to shop at Border Patrol
Understandable.
5 times. Oh yeah, I think I saw this. Did we see this one already? Um, yeah. So I think this is. Well, I guess she's getting shot up by Border Patrol by I guess is that bullets or maybe non-lethal stuff. But I mean, I was like, I think I talked about enough already.
Bro, I
Guys.
think I think I think that lady, I think she actually got shot.
Oh, she got shot. Let's take a look.
Dedication and
I'm pretty
focus
sure
to being
she's the
all
one
pro
that was like in a vehicle when the guy fucking pulled up and just started blasting.
in Chicago. A federal judge has
Yeah, you're right. This
granted the
lady got shot.
prosecution's
Yep.
request to dismiss charges against Marimar Martinez, a woman caught up in President Trump's immigration
And then they
crackdown
tried to say
in
that
Chicago. Now,
she was
Martinez
somehow
is
harming
an
the
American
fucking
citizen,
agents.
but she was charged with assaulting federal officers last month, accused of ramming an agent's vehicle before he shot
yeah.
her. I spoke to Martinez in an
See?
exclusive interview.
Can I show them?
Yeah.
They
Okay,
dismissed
so
her
I
charges
was shot in my
because
arm
there
right
was
here,
no fucking
and then I
evidence
went
that
through
she
my
did anything to assault
tricep,
the
Jesus
immigration
and
agent.
then
Christ.
it grazed the side of
See,
my
look,
chest.
Reminders of what could have been Marimar Martinez's last day. October 4th, the Department of Homeland Security claimed she rammed a Border Patrol agent's vehicle in Chicago with her car before that agent got out and shot her multiple times. She says she was on her way to donate clothes until she saw what appeared to be federal agents, already becoming a familiar sight in Chicago's neighborhoods.
So I started beeping my horn. As a Mexican American, first generation USA citizen, I felt it was my responsibility to let my neighborhood know that ICE agents were near.
They turned out to be Border Patrol.
So I just got next to them and I was like, get out of here. And I was just like honking.
That's when she says they sideswiped her, contradicting Border Patrol's narrative.
They immediately stopped. I gotta go somewhere safe. I went to my furthest left, make sure that I wasn't gonna hit them. As I was passing them, they started shooting at me through the side.
The agent got out of his vehicle and shot Martinez 5 times.
Hell yeah,
Feels
we
like
got
it's
a
still
bot
top of mind for
in
you,
the chat.
right?
It's
Good job, bot. We appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah, that's
I'm
that's
betting
a
on motherfucker.
thank you. That's a nightmare situation. Jesus Christ. Yeah. So, but it's good to know that she's still alive. I guess compared to like a lot of other people getting disappeared by like ICE. So, let me see. Well, I think that's it. I have for like news that I was able to discover.
Yeah, I
While
got nothing else, man. It's
got nothing.
just it's just a fucked up. It's just a fucked up situation societally that we find ourselves in. You know, I don't know if you saw that the Supreme Court is actually visiting the fucking
Oh yeah, yeah,
uh birthright immigration shit or birthright citizenship shit. Like why?
yeah, yeah. They're gonna do that. They're gonna try to go back to the old ways. Early in the podcast, this was one of the first things I kind of talked about. I think, because trying to take what's known as like the minority opinion, from the original one from the Wong Kim arc. I think this only applies to children of slaves and Americans who live here, not like us or like people like that. Anybody who's born here. They don't have to take this thing up. So we're gonna see. It's gonna be pretty bad. I've just started studying on my American history. Um, that's what it feels like. So
Yeah. Well,
um, yep, saw
what you
that.
munching on up there?
Um, infants are no longer being recommended to get Hep B vaccines at 24 hours during their birth. That sounds like a terrible idea to stop giving those vaccines. Personally speaking,
I mean, whatever. If you want vaccines, you can just go pay extra for it. It's fine.
I mean the insurance is still going to pay for it,
You can
but
get you can get the premium vaccine package when your kid is born. Hell yeah, that's what it's
hell
gonna
yeah.
be. That's what it's gonna turn to. A premium vaccine package sponsored by United Health.
I'm just like, you have Hep B, and then you hold the person's baby, and the baby's gonna be like dead in like a week. So it's great. I love it. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. This has been Weird Team behind EasyVoteND.com. Um, I'm gonna see if I can try to get my friend on next time for a show, but it might be a Saturday show, and then we'll just maybe do a rerun on Sunday for a Sunday stream, maybe or not. We don't know. Life is
It's
tough.
all right. We can just watch. We can just react to the Saturday stream.
That's a fun one. Actually, you guess you run reruns too, because I actually did play her interview with me earlier in the show, so
Mhm.
that was good. That was a good bathroom break for me. Um, uh, but yeah, so as you remembered, take your as for your homework, go and touch some grass because once again we are just um cavemen that have put on suits and pretended to be sophisticated people. Our bodies ain't meant for all this stress.
True.
So get
It's
some
true.
rest. I think. Thank y'all.